Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to completely shatter a massive misconception about two of the most talked about AI platforms on the market right now. If you've been paying any attention at all to the tech space lately, you've probably seen the endless, exhausting debates pitting Perplexity against Grok. Well, today, we are going to look closely at the data, the actual features, and the real-world use cases to show you exactly why treating them as competitors is just, well, it's completely the wrong approach. I mean, you see this exact question absolutely everywhere. Which AI is actually better? Okay, let's dive into this, because honestly, asking which of these tools is better is an entirely outdated question. It assumes they're trying to do the exact same job. But after spending some real, serious time inside both platforms and analyzing their core architectures, a completely different reality emerges. You see, the old mindset, which is the way most people are still operating, is all about choosing a single platform and then trying to force it to do everything for you. But the new mindset, the actual workflow we're breaking down today, is about combining them as two halves of one single highly capable brain. Why? Because one of these tools is built to find the truth and the other is built to find the opportunity. So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, the versus question is dead. Second, Perplexity, the research engine. Third, Grok, the strategy engine. Fourth, step-by-step synergy workflows. And finally, number 5, limitations and the reality. We're going to build this ultimate AI workflow together. All right, section 1, the versus question is dead. Let's start with this first core principle. If you are only using one of these platforms right now, and you're expecting it to handle both rigorous research and creative strategy, you are literally leaving an enormous amount of capability on the table. We absolutely need to stop looking at them as rivals. Today's explainer is all about the incredible power of chaining them together. It's like a giant puzzle. By taking the output of one and feeding it directly into the other, you unlock a level of verified, strategic output that neither platform can possibly produce on its own. Section 2, Perplexity, the research engine. To really understand how to combine them, we first have to understand their very distinct identities. So let's look at the first half of our AI brain. Over the last several updates, Perplexity has quietly transformed. It's gone from what we used to think of as just a search engine with some neat citations into a full-blown, comprehensive AI workflow platform. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this massive new feature called Computer. You need to think of Computer less like a standard chatbot that just spits out an answer to a prompt and much more like a project manager. Instead of you manually doing every single step of a complex query, Computer takes a massive task, breaks it down into logical pieces, assigns those pieces to multiple other AI agents working invisibly in the background, and then seamlessly assembles the final results for you. It's a real game changer. But they didn't stop there. Perplexity also introduced Comet, which pushes this whole workflow philosophy directly into your browser. Comet is designed to hold the context of your task across multiple open tabs. This means you don't have to endlessly bounce around between 15 different tabs, constantly copying and pasting just to piece together your research. It carries the task through multiple steps without you having to babysit every single click. When we summarize Perplexity's superpowers, we see a really heavy lean toward concrete output and undeniable accuracy. With Perplexity Labs, you're getting deep, multi-layered research reports and the ability to produce actual usable files, not just blocks of text on a screen. But above all else, its ultimate superpower remains verification. Because of its strictly sourced citations, Perplexity is the tool you trust when the factual accuracy of a claim actually matters. Okay, moving on to section 3, Grok, the strategy engine. Let's flip the script and examine the second half of our AI brain. If Perplexity is the research engine, Grok is without a doubt the strategy engine. With the release of the Grok 4 family, this platform has gone all in on advanced step-by-step reasoning. It doesn't just blurt out an answer, it actually works through the logic to get there. It leverages real-time information, deep coding capabilities, and actual tool use. But you know where it truly shines? In its collaborative nature. Grok is exceptionally good at riffing with you. Thanks to larger context windows, you can work through incredibly complex creative tasks without constantly re-explaining yourself. It pushes your ideas further instead of just handing you a flat, boring answer. So let's see how this builds our ultimate workflow. Perplexity's job is to find and verify what's already true in the world. Grok's job is to generate new ideas, challenge your assumptions, and push past what's obvious. One is the cautious, grounded research brain. The other is the bold, creative strategy brain. Separately, they're very good, but together, they are wildly powerful.
Section 4, Step-by-Step Synergy Workflows. So the crucial point is how we actually apply this theory. We are shifting right now from concept to execution. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to chain these two distinct platforms together for maximum impact.
Let's look at workflow number 1, the research to strategy loop. Imagine you're launching a new product. Step 1, Perplexity does the digging. You ask it for hard, verifiable market data, market size, competitor pricing, customer frustrations. You get strictly sourced facts. Step 2, you take that raw data and hand it to Grok, asking it to find the gaps and overlooked opportunities based only on that research. For instance, if you're launching a new smart home device, Perplexity pulls the hard numbers on current smart hub fatigue and pricing saturation. Grok then takes that data and spots an entirely overlooked opportunity to pivot your product positioning toward a privacy-first, offline-only focus, rather than just another cloud-connected gadget. Now, pay close attention to step 3, because this is absolutely non-negotiable. You take Grok's bold new ideas and feed them back into Perplexity for a reality check. Did Grok invent a market trend, or is it actually true? Skip this step, and you risk building your entire strategy on confident-sounding fiction. Finally, once validated, step 4, Grok takes those verified insights and builds out your actionable framework.
Here's a second loop designed specifically for content creation. It's the exact same philosophy. First, Perplexity goes out and gathers the actual news, real statistics, and credible sources. Then, you pass that raw factual material to Grok. Imagine you're writing a deep dive newsletter about supply chain logistics. Perplexity grabs the latest, strictly verified shipping container data and port delays from an economic journal. Grok takes those incredibly dry numbers and shapes them into a sharp, captivating hook about how a single delayed ship is subtly changing local retail prices right in your exact neighborhood. The final output is something incredibly rare, content that is 100% credible, but also 100% engaging. You aren't duplicating effort here. You're assigning each tool precisely the job it was built to do. Section 5, Limitations and the Reality. Now, I'd be doing you a massive disservice if I made this sound like a flawless magic button. So let's pivot for a second and have an honest reality check about where this system currently breaks down. And this brilliantly illustrates the dynamic. There's a fundamental trade-off between Perplexity's caution and Grok's boldness. Perplexity stays incredibly close to verified sources, which is amazing for accuracy. But the trade-off is that it can feel very conservative and narrow. Grok, on the other hand, reasons further and generates bold ideas, but its massive trade-off is that it can occasionally wander off into unchecked, wildly confident hallucinations. That is exactly why that verification step in our loop is your ultimate safety net. We also have to acknowledge the workflow friction. Right now, bouncing information between these two separate platforms is a manual process. There isn't a single synergy button you can just press. You are the one copying research from Perplexity and pasting it into Grok. Furthermore, while multi-agent systems like Perplexity's computer are highly promising, coordinating several AI agents on a single task is a very new feature. It's still finding its footing, so expect some friction. And remember that these AI agents still require human oversight to ensure they are actually doing what you ask them to do. But even with that friction, the results speak for themselves. If you take anything away from this explainer today, let it be this: deliberate loop. Research with Perplexity, generate ideas with Grok, run verification back through Perplexity, and finalize execution with Grok. This exact sequence yields a caliber of work that simply cannot be achieved by using either platform in isolation.
So, I want to leave you with a provocative question to think about. Look at your own workflow right now. If you had to assign every single AI tool you use just one specific job, the one thing it is absolute best at, what would your ultimate AI lineup look like?
Like, share, and subscribe, please, and drop a comment in comment box.